lost. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, I see a spider web is tangled up with me, and I lost my head and thought of all the stupid things I'd said. Oh no, what's this? Spider web and I'm caught in the middle. So I turned to run and thought of all the stupid things I'd done. And I never meant to cause you trouble. And I never meant to do you wrong. And well, if I ever caused you trouble, oh no, I never meant to do you harm. Oh no, I see a spider web and it's me in the middle. So I twist and turn, but here am I in my little bubble, singing out, I never meant to cause you trouble. I never meant to do you wrong. Well, if I ever caused you trouble, oh no, I never meant to do you harm. They spun a web for me. They spun a web for me. They spun a web for me. How long before I get in? Before it starts, before I begin? How long before you decide? Or before I know what it We had diamonds taking shape. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the path. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in to sleep and dream of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes. When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, and the bullets catching her teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy, the wheel breaks the butterfly. Every tear a waterfall. In the night, the stormy night, she closed her eyes. In the night, the stormy night, away she flies and dream of paradise, paradise, paradise. Oh, she dream of paradise, so lying underneath those stormy skies, she said, oh, I know the sun was set to rise. This could be paradise, paradise, could be paradise. Oh, this could be paradise, paradise, could be I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
bass drum. You're at a distance. Let's take a little bit of that again. Here we go. Just the last 12 bars. The last 12 bars, I believe, is the right spot. Notice how the wind is blowing. Okay. Last 12 bars. Ready? Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Well, it's funny. It's either it's right where it's too tight or it's too loose. And I can't do it. I mean, fast enough to get it right. What? We're going to do this like we do it. Drum roll, play, drum roll. That's exactly how we'll do it in the processional, right? I need to do this and that, and I couldn't remember which hand goes where. That's why I'm not a piano player. Okay. Now this time, Brighton Beach, as written, I'm going to wander. And make sure that you guys sounded fine without the mics, but they realize it's much. Okay, Brighton Beach. And then we'll have a little bit of a small break, and we begin. Yeah. Well, you can do this. You know, if you see somebody not doing, I know you'll be first, because you're always first. You're always early. I watch you for the cue on that. Okay, everybody here right now is on my good side. This is good news. Here we go. It sounds like they put a CD in. Honestly, I wish you could all go out there and listen to this. It's the Eastman Wind Ensemble, the Marine Band. Come on, Joe. No, we keep it going. We keep it going. All right. I will see. We will. Please be back by no later than 9:29. 9:25 would be ideal. That gives you 8 minutes. 8 minutes to enjoy your lives. Then we're on. Then we're on. During the processional, I'll ask everybody to go ahead and take their hats off during the processional. They may be looking at us then. But you may wear them during the street music. Okay. Yes. Hello, Rick. How are you doing?
Parking is worse this year.
Yes, it is.
That new building, my God.
Yeah, yeah. I warned you all.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
What an amazing audience. Thank you so much. Thanks for singing in the back up there, everybody. And thanks for giving us that amazing performance to this film. Goodbye and good night.
We're never having kids.
You know what the awful thing is? They're going to think we did a CD. They will say, "We look together?" After we're done, okay. Hey, Mr. Hedrick. Oh, and we're great, and you're great. You don't cover some green, right? I didn't even know you were on. So I saw one. No, we had someone that wasn't. Christmas Eve after Christmas.
Good morning. On this glorious day, let us begin as we pray. Sovereign of the universe, who created all in love, we praise you for shepherding the class of 2016 through their journey here at dear old Roanoke. To those gathered around them here and in spirit today, their parents and grandparents, faculty, staff, and coaches, and their classmates, you have lifted up a new generation of Maroons, educated and ready to enter the community of the cosmos, with their minds and hearts fully aware that we are blessed to be a blessing, that we are not educated for the sake of self-glorification, but for the care and repair of this awe-inspiring universe we inhabit. May each of these Maroons hear your song through all the imitators, so that they may be guided into lives committed to faith, hope, and love, and moved to pursue wisdom and justice, grace and compassion for all. Finally, we ask that you would bless them and inspire them to join us in our momentous duty to ensure the education of the next generation. Now all these things, and whatever else you see that we need this day, we ask your blessing and your peace be with us. Amen.
Please be seated, everyone. Welcome, members of the class of 2016. Welcome, honorary degree recipients. Welcome, everyone else here who shares in our graduates' lives. I can imagine no better place to be for a commencement than this John R. Turbyfield quadrangle. Special thanks to the many people who make it such a special place, especially Susan Rambo, our marshals, our registrar's office. Thanks as well to our buildings and grounds and housekeeping staff who make this a beautiful place. Thanks to our other staff members for your able assistance. Thanks to our music ensemble under the direction of Joe Blaha, and our Roanoke College Choir under the direction of the Wade Professor of Music, Dr. Jeffrey Sandborg. Our founder, David Biddle, once said, "The most momentous duty of one generation to the next is its education." Parents, we thank you for rising to meet your most momentous duty with us on your behalf as well. Please join me in saying thank you to your faculty. Now, you may not remember this, but you arrived here in August, in most cases, on August 25th in 2012, on a 75-degree morning, not unlike this morning. Who could have imagined how much has happened since your family
and the Maroon Corps unloaded your vehicles back then. While you were here, Ebola and Zika struck. Paris and Brussels and the Boston Marathon were attacked. Roanoke students, in fact, were in France and Belgium in those difficult times. Those things happened while you did the pitch, or the Fed challenge, or slept in Newhall or Crawford, or listened to scientists, poets, public servants, or wounded warriors. You prepared posters to showcase your impressive research, whose wins totaled over 1,000 together. You performed in the Washington Cathedral, formed Roanoke, served meals in the Roanoke Rescue Mission. Since you arrived here, Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space. Mars rover Curiosity landed on the Red Planet while you watched Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar and Matt Damon in The Martian. Since you arrived, the new World Trade Center opened. Storms hit the Philippines. Embassies were stormed. The first creation of human embryonic stem cells by cloning occurred. These things happened while you practiced for your Inc. 300 presentation, or your St. Andrews concert, or the ODAC tournament, or your theater debut. You met with your faculty and developed deep relations. You stayed up all night finishing papers. You pondered deep questions. You learned that at Roanoke, ink means more than replacing a printer cartridge, right? While you were here, Edward Snowden leaked, oil prices tumbled, the Supreme Court ruled on same-sex marriage and contended with a vacancy on the court. Cuban relations with the United States thawed. These things transpired while you walked these paved walkways to fruitions or cups, or to enjoy Common's chicken tendies. You began beekeeping and cultivated a garden. You attended your formal or the press ball decked out in Gatsby garb or international attire. While you were here, children were abducted by Boko Haram. ISIS emerged. Syria became a global crisis that affected our local area, resulting in a teach-in on our own campus. These things happened while you competed nationally in track and field for Truman, Gilman, and Fulbright Awards. These things happened while you watched Star Wars. You've witnessed a presidential race that touched our own campus with a Marco Rubio visit. You attended worship in Seder. You observed days of silence, international days, snow days, and debuted Day Lily Day. While you were here, the Affordable Care Act became law. Sandy Hook and San Bernardino shocked us. Climate accords and nuclear deals were reached. And in fact, watches became smart while you were here. Those things happened while you won prizes at bingo, discovered Roanoke's Got Talent, listened to John Huntsman lecture on China. You put on Israel-Palestinian peace months and a cappella carnivalas and raised funds for your philanthropy. You worked on the Stat Crew or Tyler's Trek or Shack Attack or the Colquitt Crew. You relayed for life. You saw Bowman fall and the Kreger Center rise. You studied on the incredible first floor of the library. You visited the Sea of Cortez, Turkey, Argentina, Nicaragua, the Appalachian Trail, Puerto Rico, Greece, Palau, and of course, the most exotic location of all, Sheets at 3 a.m. You held offices, you presented at national meetings, and some of you have international presentations coming up. You experienced the 100th anniversary of the Brackety Act. Some of you published, others won championships and competitions. You attended Theology on Tap. You went to the Model UN, and you conquered your senior seminars and policy courses even after you wondered if you possibly could. while you were here, the pace of events in the world and on campus was breathtaking. It always is, and it always will be. Some of what you did here may seem light or frivolous compared to the gravity of the world. That is only partially true. Much of what you did prepared you for the world's hurly-burly. And I close my welcome this morning with a few observations about you. First, it is now your turn. Graduation reminds all of us that your turn is at hand in the world. As C.S. Lewis put it, it may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. We are like eggs at present, and you cannot go on indefinitely just being an ordinary, decent egg. We must be hatched or go bad. Consider graduation to be your hatching. Second, you are prepared. You learned how to learn here, and that will serve you well in a fast-changing world. You see, a Roanoke education intends to make you free, to liberate you to serve the world, and commencement notifies the world of your liberation. Service is now up to you. Third, you know about working hard, and that matters a great deal in life. Grades are earned here, and you deserve to be confident that you know how to put in the kind of effort that leads to results. What a great lesson. In closing my welcome, I want to let you in on two secrets. One is that your greatest challenges lie ahead, and one of these greatest challenges will be to stand up for what is right in your life. As Gerald Johnson, the journalist, said, if a college doesn't teach a person to think their own thoughts and speak their own minds, it doesn't teach them anything of prime importance. They may accumulate any amount of learning. They may be able to square a circle, but if they come out of college without the capacity to form an opinion of the way the world is going and the nerve to stand up on that opinion in the face of stout opposition, he or she remains an ignoramus, though his degrees may take up half the letters in the alphabet. Now, I'm quite confident that the world has a sufficient number of ignoramuses out there, and none of them are members of the class of 2016. In fact, you are called to something much higher. The world does need more people who think their own thoughts, speak their own minds, and form opinions in the way the world is going. The world needs you to have the confidence to stand up in the face of stout opposition. Be those things for good in the world. My other secret for you today is that you've formed relationships that will last a lifetime. Whether the relationship is with a faculty member, a coach, a staff member, or your classmates and friends, they will sustain you. We all need all the help we can get in life. Stay in touch with those who care about you. It's been a privilege to watch you change from your arrival 4 years ago to the wood burning on Thursday night. Mrs. Maxey and I have enjoyed watching you meet the challenges of college life. I welcome everyone here in the Turbyfield Quad today as we celebrate your successes over the past years. We now come to the point in our ceremony for the official conferring of your baccalaureate degrees. The bachelor's degree originated in medieval universities, and over the centuries it came to signify completion of an initial level of learning. Today we recognize the completion of your first stage of learning. It is now my pleasure to turn to Dr. Smith as the college's Chief Academic Officer for the purpose of presenting the candidates for the following degrees: the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Science, and the Bachelor of Business Administration. Dean Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will those candidates who have been approved for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please stand and remain standing? President Maxey, I have the honor of presenting to you those students who have completed or are expected to complete by August all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and have been recommended by the faculty for that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Roanoke College Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Arts with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Please move your tassels from the right side of your mortarboard to the left side to acknowledge your degree conferral as we welcome you into the fellowship of educated women and men. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Will those candidates who've been approved for the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand and remain standing? President Maxey, I have the honor of presenting to you those students who have completed or are expected to complete by August all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science and have been recommended by the faculty for that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Roanoke College and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Science with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Please move your tassels from the right side of your mortarboards to the left to acknowledge the conferral of your degree as we welcome you into the fellowship of educated men and women. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Will those candidates who have been approved for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration please stand and remain standing? President Maxey, I have the honor of presenting to you those students who have completed or are expected to complete by August all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration and have been recommended by the faculty for that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Roanoke Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Business Administration with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Please move your tassels from the right side of your mortarboards to the left to acknowledge your degree conferral as we welcome you into the community of educated men and women. Please be seated. Maybe one round of applause for all 3 degrees. We are a community that pursues and recognizes academic excellence, and I want to introduce to you 3 students who have performed well in that pursuit. I'd like to introduce you to our salutatorian and our valedictorians. This year's salutatorian for the class of 2016 is Angela He Chen of Lima, Peru. Would you stand? Angela majored in economics with a concentration in finance. In the past 4 years, she's been an orientation leader for international students, treasurer of the SGA. She studied in Hong Kong during her junior year, taking finance and entrepreneurship courses. She also internshiped for a venture capital fund and join me in thanking your parents. I'd now like to introduce you to our 2 valedictorians for the class of 2016. First, Connor Britt Sprinkle. Connor, would you please stand for a moment? Connor, that's for you. Connor has a heart for helping children succeed. She's a sociology major from Troutville, Virginia, who took an education course in her freshman year that sparked an interest in teaching. As part of the class, she had lunch each day with a student from a local elementary school. The boy had some challenges at home, and Connor says getting to know him inspired her. She had a similar experience as a mentor for the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. She met weekly at a Salem elementary school with the same student for several years. She says she likes working with elementary students because they are challenging. Dr. Lisa Earp of our education faculty, who supervised her student teaching, says Connor has this special heart for kids who need a little more attention or love. Dr. Earp says Connor is conscientious and she's always seeking ways to be a better teacher. At Roanoke, she was president of Kappa Delta Pi, the International Honor Society for Teachers, was a member of the Maroon Corps. She also worked as a student assistant for the Margaret Sue Copenhaver Institute. She planned the logistics for the conference and, in fact, presented a session herself. Additionally, Connor completed an honors in the major project that involved evaluating and observing a local law enforcement program that hires students with disabilities as interns. This fall, Connor will put her love of teaching to work as a kindergarten teacher. Connor, would you please come forward and address your classmates?
Thank you, President Maxey. Good morning. To the Roanoke College community, President Maxey and our distinguished guests, faculty, and staff, I thank you for the opportunities that you have provided the class of 2016 for the last several years. To my mom and dad, without your life advice over rushed phone calls, listening ears during stressful times, and constant prodding on how I was doing in class, I would be a little less sane and definitely would not be standing here before you today. To my advisors, Dr. Christy Hoffman, Dr. Leslie Merle, and Dr. Tim Reynolds, all of my education and sociology professors, as well as numerous other professors that I have had during my time at Roanoke. Thank you for your support and guidance throughout the past 4 years and instilling in me a true passion for learning. To the class of 2016, I'm honored to have the privilege to speak with you as we graduate. All of our hard work on seminar papers, INQ 300 projects, defenses, finals, and late nights in Fintel are done, and we have reached the final hurrah. Congratulations. Today is a pivotal day. Almost as pivotal as your first day of kindergarten. While on that day, and even today, you may have been unsure on how your life and career would unfold. You were full of excitement and ideas. This excitement shown daily on 5- and 6-year-olds' faces is what has inspired me to become a teacher. Therefore, I found it fitting to ask my kindergarten students who I had taught this semester during student teaching, what their advice would be for college graduates. Some responses provided practical advice, including, get a job so you can make some money. Other responses were advice on social behavior. Don't hurt anybody. Get a boyfriend. Follow directions. And lastly, do your dishes. Some responses were quite touching. Be kind, give hugs, help your family. And lastly, some were pretty comical and honest. Just get a job because you're a grown-up. And eat candy all the time because grown-ups can do whatever they want. If only that were true. In all honesty, my kindergartners were unaware that a college degree doesn't magically bring forth a job, and that we certainly do not feel like full-fledged grown-ups at this point. It is likely that we're almost as scared today as we were walking into that big elementary school for the first time. For now, we are walking into what our parents like to state repeatedly during this graduation season, the real world. While you may or may not have secured a job at this point and are ready to post it to LinkedIn or Facebook, regardless of what career you end up pursuing, you will all be teachers. A teacher is one who encourages learning and the acquiring of new knowledge and skills, as well as providing information to others. Hence, whether you aspire to be a doctor, an artist, a writer, an athletic trainer, or an accountant, others will learn from and be affected by your actions, words, and decisions on a daily basis. We've all had those teachers who we remember as our favorites, some most likely being the professors that we've had at Roanoke. When thinking about these teachers, they all have certain qualities that make them memorable. Thus, before you walk across the stage, I would like to leave you with 3 characteristics of outstanding teachers that I've learned through my experiences at Roanoke with a twofold purpose. First, to reflect upon our shared experiences during our time at Roanoke. And second, to think about how to apply these qualities as a framework for your future. First, impressive teachers are selfless. At Roanoke College, I learned my first lesson on selflessness when I arrived to move in and was greeted by Maroon Corps students who efficiently moved me into my 4th floor dorm room. In addition, we are fortunate at Roanoke to have selfless professors who make time outside of class to answer our questions. We have grounds workers, housekeeping, and common staff that stay on campus just so we will be fed and have our sidewalks cleared, even during snowstorms. Mahatma Gandhi exemplified the essence of selflessness when he stated, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." Use these examples in your future career and go the extra mile to help a coworker, neighbor, or friend, even when it's inconvenient for you. Second, exceptional teachers are adventurous. Roanoke College encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone and take my first flight overseas for a May term course. Many of you have also embarked on a May term course away from campus, studied abroad, or have been encouraged to work in a research lab, take on a leadership position, complete an honors project, or to try a different position on a sports team. As Roanoke College students, we are encouraged constantly to take risks by our professors, advisors, and mentors. And as a result of being adventurous, we find that we are capable of more than we once thought. I am constantly impressed with my friends and classmates' abilities to juggle athletics, Greek organizations, clubs, honor societies, work, and academics. At Roanoke, you are not just an athlete or a bio major. You are involved in many different organizations and take time to meet up for a Bible study, coffee at Mill Mountain, hikes up McAfee's Knob, late night Lucky's, Salem Red Sox game, or for drinks and wings at Bob's on Wednesday nights. Think back to your freshman year at Roanoke and think about the risks that you have taken, accomplishments that you didn't think you were capable of, or organizations or leadership positions that you would have never had the courage to engage in. Think about your professors, advisors, and friends that have helped you as you took on these adventures. Most importantly, keep in mind as we step foot out of the comfort zone of our beloved Roanoke College community, it is okay to take risks and be adventurous. Lastly, the third quality of a phenomenal teacher is compassion. I have been constantly encouraged by the compassion of my professors, but also my peers, as they organize a month dedicated to Israel-Palestine peace, how our campus mourns together when sadness strikes, and how male and female students walk around the quad in heels to address rape, sexual assault, and gender violence. Emphasizing compassion, Dalai Lama stated, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." Be compassionate in your work and relationships daily, for kind words and actions go a long way. In closing, it's hard to believe that we started our educational journey about 17 years ago when we entered school as kindergartners, eager to learn and also take naps. As college graduates, most of us will continue to take naps. However, whether you further your education or begin working, always continue to learn. In addition, teach others and lead by example, as our fellow classmates, faculty and staff, and administration have done for us over the past several years. As we depart from dear old Roanoke, keep in mind the qualities that Roanoke College has instilled in you. Be adventurous, compassionate, selfless. Engage in activities and organizations you are passionate about, and use the knowledge that your coursework, field experiences, and service at Roanoke has bestowed upon you. And so the adventure begins, Maroons. Celebrate this milestone, stomp on that seal, high-five Rooney, and kick the post one last time for good luck in your future endeavors.
Connor, thank you very much for those fine remarks. Our second valedictorian for the class of 2016 was driven by an intense curiosity and a strong motivation to complete her Roanoke education. Amanda Lee Lundberg, who goes by Manna. Amanda, would you please stand? She is a religious studies major whom one professor describes as a student who wasn't bound by just following the coursework and fulfilling her requirements. Manna lives in Blacksburg, and she began taking courses at Roanoke as a part-time student in 2011. Through her time here, she's created her own educational path. She designed several of her own independent study courses. Some of her coursework and research for her thesis centered on religion's effect on women's mental health. She won a Thesis of the Year award for her research, which focused on the effects of disgust on facial mutilation in Buddhist monks. Her professor and advisor, Dr. Marwood Harris, says, "Manna is a student with a real thirst who pursued questions for her own benefit. She was a seeker of knowledge." For example, Manna's intense interest in Buddhism led her to a Zendo in Indiana for a self-designed May-term study. She also enjoys learning languages and has taken numerous Chinese courses here at Roanoke. In fact, she sang traditional Chinese songs for performances at several Roanoke area Chinese New Year celebrations along with some of her classmates and her professor, Rebecca Chang. Manna has accomplished all of this while maintaining a part-time job in Blacksburg. Manna, please bring your remarks to your classmates.
Good morning. As a religious studies major, I feel that one of the things that we look at is what is a good life. So I want to share with you my speech, which is wisdom that I feel like I have carried with me forever. In the 80s, my mom attended a nursing class that featured a retiring psychiatrist. Afterward, someone asked him which patients were most difficult. He asked the audience what they thought, and the typical answers emerged: drug addicts, bipolars, borderline, etc. Instead of agreeing, he said that in his professional opinion, there were only two types of patients who did not respond to treatment: people without gratitude and people who could not grieve a dream. He wisely realized that there is no singular affliction, trauma, or circumstance that permanently impedes the ability to thrive. What hobbles people are their attitudes and beliefs. Gratitude is the foundation of all relationships because it underpins reciprocity. People without gratitude hoard happiness, acting as if their good fortune is the result of their own efforts, while refusing to see how circumstances and the efforts of others contribute to their overall well-being. In a small treatise on the great virtues, André Comte Sponville says, "We all tend to see the love we have received as reason for self-congratulation, rather than as cause for gratitude, which is love for the other. The humility that is gained from understanding gratitude cannot be gained in any other way. And because people are notoriously sensitive to issues of fairness, selfish individuals are unable to navigate relationships successfully. As a result, they are left to languish in loneliness." Gratitude also recognizes the good that is and the good that has been. It deals in absolutes, unlike regrets and nostalgia, which rely on fantasizing. People who cannot grieve a dream are stuck mourning their past and their future. They regret what was or was not done, and they fear what will be. Ungrateful for the blessings that they do have, they cannot be happy. They are doomed to a twilight existence in which they wait for life to start, while constantly hating the life that they are actually living. Only the awareness of alternatives can change attitudes and beliefs. A liberal arts education is an invaluable gift because it offers so many different forms of wisdom: scientific, historic, religious, and artistic. Roanoke College has given us all the freedom to choose how we want to live and conduct our lives. Choice is the most precious result of education. In our society, a college education is often seen as a stepping stone to higher earning potential. Money and fulfilling work make life easier, but they are not what life is all about. A liberal arts education is designed to help individuals thrive as humans so that they may succeed in all areas of their lives. Society gives us scripts that tell us how life is supposed to go. However, these are just one path through life, but not the path. Education prevents us from getting stuck in a dream not meant for us. A proper education instills a sense of wonder and humility. It demonstrates how fortunate we are to have what we do and to be where we are. I will never take my time at Roanoke College for granted. Coming here allowed me to fulfill my dream of getting a degree. It reaffirmed my belief that nothing matters more than being educated. Life's variances can take your job, your health, your home, and your loved ones. Nothing will ever go according to plan. But if you have gratitude and remain open to new possibilities, what you end up with might just go beyond your wildest expectations. I had no idea when I started here how much the passion of the faculty and staff would inspire me to go far beyond what I could have achieved with a normal education. I want to personally thank Dr. Larson Harris, Dr. McLawn, Dr. Bauman, Bai Lao Shur, the library here, and the interlibrary loan guy who made being up here possible for me. And I also want to thank Mrs. Russell and Mr. Ten Brunzel. And most of all, a really heartfelt thanks to Roanoke College for giving so graciously to all of us. Thank you so much.
Anna, thank you very much for your wonderful remarks, and congratulations. The senior class gift was presented by Tamaya Moore at the Senior Leave Your Mark event on Thursday evening. Thanks and congratulations to the class of 2016. Please stand, Tamaya, and receive our congratulations to you and your class. Thank you very much. There is nothing artificial about our commencement speaker other than his field, artificial intelligence. Michael Roden is real in the fullest sense of the word, and his presence is important and authentic for him and for us. You have his impressive biography in your commencement program. You'll hear more about him later when we present his honorary degree, but I want to highlight just a few facets of his life. He holds a bachelor's degree, as many of you just earned. His is from the University of Michigan. His undergraduate degree was in computer science, as is the major of several of you. He currently serves as the Senior Vice President of IBM Watson. His work with IBM began in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1984, where his initial assignment was in programming. He was a global executive with IBM, ran IBM's European operations from Zurich for 20 years. In addition, he served on IBM's strategy committee for over a decade. The wide range of his volunteer work includes serving on boards that work to improve the economic growth and condition of New York City, advising his alma mater on computer science, and the advisory board of an international bank. He shared the stage with Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, and he cites that as his favorite on-stage moment. Perhaps today will compete for his favorite on-stage moment. His most influential business book is The Innovator's Dilemma. He explains that fiction author Michael Crichton's work, The Terminal Man, was inspirational to him as a teenager because of the realistic medical science fiction, much of which has subsequently come true. You can detect that Michael Roden is moved by ideas. As impressive as his professional accomplishments are, he considers his greatest accomplishment to be his family, about which he states nothing else matters more. His professional passions include developing the next generation of talent with a keen eye on gender diversity and on the digital disruption of healthcare as a means for transforming healthcare for the good. I could spend a long time telling you fascinating facts and stories about our commencement speaker, but I know you want to hear his reflections, as do I, on this commencement day. I do want you to know that one of your classmates, Olivia Roden, is his daughter. This commencement is real to him in that very special way. Michael Roden, we're delighted to hear your address for our graduates today. Please come forward.
Thank you, President Maxey, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you, members of the Roanoke College community. It's truly my honor to be here with you all today. Now, it's customary to start a commencement speech by welcoming the parents. Well, as I am also the parent of graduate, I'm going to presumptively speak for all of us parents when I say this to you, our graduates. We are not as old as you think we are. 5 minutes ago, we were sitting right there. Life goes by very quickly, so make it count. We are here with you to celebrate your accomplishments, to wish you well as you begin your own journey through life. You're a diverse class, 446 graduates, 29 states, 8 countries. Many of you have studied abroad during your time here at Roanoke College. Over half of you have earned a Bachelor of Arts degree, with the remaining split between the sciences and business administration. And several of you have won prestigious national scholarships. Well done. As I thought about what I would say before you today, it came down to a simple thought. I'd like you to be bold and define your own path. Over the last 4 years or so, you have developed the tools to really do anything you want. But now you get to answer the real question. What is it that you want? And more importantly, how will you achieve it? This is no longer a question for us as your parents, but one for you as you sit there at the dawn of the rest of your life. And as you mull over that question, I encourage you to go be bold in setting your goals, and then go back and be bolder. As you've learned through your education, every great human advancement began with a single person believing they could change the world. In 2001, a young singer-songwriter about your age named John Mayer released a song called No Such Thing that starts like this, and I won't sing. "Welcome to the real world," she said to me, condescendingly. "Take a seat, take your life, plot it out in black or white." Now, many of you may be feeling like that as you sit down for job interviews and filling out forms. But he went on to sing, "They love to tell you, stay inside the lines, but something's better on the other side." I couldn't agree more. I've never believed in something called the real world. Your world will be exactly what you make of it. The problem is that many people don't make anything of it because they've got a mental block, a block that allows them to assume that they can't. Well, today, we, your parents, your teachers, are here to remove that block because we believe you can be the difference. So, here are 3 steps to remove that block. First, let detractors be your fuel, not your brakes. While attending Yale in the mid-1960s, Fred Smith wrote an economics term paper on the need for reliable overnight delivery. His professor was less than impressed and commented that the concept is interesting, it's well-formed, but in order to earn better than a C, the idea must be feasible. That C paper is now called FedEx. Fred Smith is the founder and still the CEO. That C paper has 340,000 people working for it, 650 jets, 100,000 vehicles, making 11 million deliveries per day, generating almost $50 billion a year in revenue. I bet if you asked Fred today, he would say that the detractors, that C paper, made him believe more in his idea, not less. There will always be those around you that say no. Always. Let them question you, challenge you, let them doubt you, but never, never let them dissuade you. Step 2, think outside the lines. A little over a decade ago, I was sitting in the office of the co-CEOs of a company called BlackBerry, the world's dominant mobile email platform, and a pretty good phone. It was the day after Apple released something it called the iPhone. I distinctly remember listening as they explained to me why it would fail. They told me that the BlackBerry users expected battery life of multiple days, and the sheer size and brightness of the screen would only allow hours of battery life, which was all true. They missed the point. They were stuck in their own paradigm, not realizing that the iPhone was an application platform for the internet that also happened to do email and telephony. They failed to see outside the lines. Today, while the iPhone is a leading mobile platform, it's not the only player. You see, another group of people from a company called Google looked outside the lines again, this time around how money would be made, and released, counterintuitively, a free operating system called Android to disrupt the smartphone market, enlisting an entire ecosystem of manufacturers to help disrupt and innovate while they target mobile advertising to all of them. Always remember, when you look outside the lines, you implicitly create new ones, and others will look beyond those. Never be afraid to challenge your own beliefs and restlessly reinvent your ideas. Step 3, This is an oft-cited story, but probably the best example in modern history. Be bold and set big goals. This is about bold vision. Nothing better that can exemplify this than the Apollo space mission. When President Kennedy said we will land a man on the moon within the decade of the 60s, all of the obstacles had to come down. All of the detractors had to be pushed aside. And we ventured into an area where there simply were no lines. Engineers from IBM were a critical part of that mission, and even in the return of Apollo 13 to Earth after a systems failure. Failure, you see, was never an option. It was just another obstacle that had to be overcome. In fact, today, bold and seemingly unattainable goals, but ones that capture the imagination of the world, are still called moonshots, like the moonshots currently underway to find a cure for cancer. As you think about those 3 steps, think about this. As I stand before you, never has a generation had more opportunity to change the world. We are digitizing the physical world, generating data from homes, cars, roads, phones, the planet, and just about anything you can think of. We are analyzing all of that data, using it to unlock secrets that have frustrated generations. We'll use that information to solve problems with solutions that will make the world better. There are many big problems to solve, from income inequality to discrepancy in education to increasing severe weather events. You are entering what is known as a target-rich environment. There is much to do, and you are in a great position to take advantage. A few years ago at IBM, a very simple observation led us to some pretty profound ideas. You see, we noticed that humans had begun to produce more information than we could possibly use. So we either needed to stop producing it, which many may argue would be a good thing, or we need to invent new tools to help us deal with it. These new tools need to overcome a few obstacles. They need to read information in much the same way that humans do, understanding it and putting it in context of all of the information that they've already read. These new tools need to interact with us, changing the paradigm on how we use technology, both visually and verbally. And most importantly, they need to work at scale, massive scale, in order to deal with the volume of information we are creating. At IBM, we called this new capability Watson. It's a new set of tools based on decades of mathematical discovery in a field known as artificial intelligence. We believe these new tools will usher in an area of profound achievement in which the combination of humans and machines working together will solve problems that are untouchable with today's approaches. To understand how bold our vision is, let's use an example from one of the biggest parts of our economy, healthcare. Today, our best and brightest students, ones with a desire to serve and care for people, perhaps some of you, will enter medical school. They will learn medicine in much the same way we have taught it for a century, through education, memorization, the observation of current doctors, and apprenticeship via internships and residencies. Yet the year they begin to practice medicine on their own and pay down their student loans, they will become outdated. That year alone, over 700,000 new medical reference documents will be published, only to be eclipsed by the volume from the following year. Medical information is doubling every 2 years. It's accelerating. The sheer volume of relevant information has now outpaced the ability of our best professionals to keep up. New technologies are exponentially accelerating data, including both images and DNA-based genomic data, all of which must be understood in the context of a single patient in order to make a difference. This is the case for change. There are many obstacles to overcome, beginning with the trust of these new tools. But as we overcome that, we see that the information and the data will expand the lines of what is possible and boldly challenge some of the most insidious diseases like cancer. The new moonshots will be achieved just as we landed a man on the moon. With IBM Watson, we are challenging many long-held beliefs, looking for lines to cross, and thinking boldly. Our work in healthcare, financial services, education, and many more industries, we believe will change the future. And as I look to that future, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful because I've met many of you here. And more importantly, we, your parents, teachers, and predecessors, believe in you. And because I know that a small group of smart people can change the world, I know that because it's the only thing that ever has. With that, I'd like to conclude this commencement speech with a slideshow of my daughter Olivia's baby pictures. I would like to, but my beautiful wife Ingrid has forbidden it. Instead, on a more serious note, and as someone who is entering the twilight of their career, speaking to those seeing the dawn of theirs, I would like to offer one final piece of advice, again reaching into the world of music for inspiration. This time from a current hit by Tim McGraw, in which he sings, "Always stay humble and kind. And when you get to where you're going, reach back and help the next one in line." About 10 years ago, I had the privilege of spending some time with a man who embodied those beliefs. A man who knew much of what I've talked about today, overcoming obstacles, thinking beyond the lines, and achieving bold vision. That man was Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon in the Apollo program. While a man of extraordinary achievement, he remains one of the most humble and kindest people I have ever met. And true to the song, he spent much of his remaining time on Earth as a teacher, reaching back and helping those next in line. The greatest achievements in history were made by a combination of bold thinking, tireless execution, and a willingness to take risks. Remember the lessons of the past, those that you've been taught in the classrooms of this beautiful campus here at Roanoke College, but look to the future and use those lessons to shape it, for that is where your opportunity lies. Bravo, class of 2016. Congratulations, and I wish you bold dreams and even bigger adventures.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roden, for those inspiring remarks. We'll remember those, won't we? Our faculty members, of course, have been your guides in your academic exploration at Roanoke. Many of them deserve recognition, but today I recognize the Dean of the College, Dr. Richard Smith, to present the Dean's Awards for exemplary teaching and exemplary service for our faculty, and to introduce those faculty who earned those awards. Dean Smith.
Thank you, President Maxey. It is my pleasure to present these Dean's Awards. They are the awards that recognize outstanding performance, and they're the highest awards that the college grants to our faculty. And I begin with the Dean's Award for Exemplary Teaching, whose recipient this year is Dr. Lynn Talbot, Professor of Spanish. Dr. Talbot has, for 29 years, consistently displayed excellence in teaching. She has taught capstone courses for both the general education program and the honors program, and also first-year seminars in the current intellectual inquiry curriculum. Students appreciate her teaching skills, as attested by her numerous nominations for this award over the years, and by her very strong teaching evaluations. Her department chair has commented on her rigorous courses, her high standards for students, and the very positive reactions of students to her teaching. Indeed, her excellence in teaching Spanish is experienced by students in her language courses, advanced literature courses, and culture classes, including Spain and Latin America. A champion of study abroad, Dr. Talbot not only talks the talk, but walks the walk. She takes many students on May term trips to Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Spain. She takes students on a 3-mile trek on the Inca Trail in Peru, walks with students for over 2 weeks on the Camino de Santiago in Spain, and this May will walk the entire French route, an impressive 7 weeks of putting her feet where her mouth advocates. For Dr. Talbot, learning a second language is, in her words, a window onto another culture, another way of looking at the world. In her teaching statement, she says that she combines her love of Hispanic culture with her hope that students will develop with full potential to reach understanding and balance in today's globalized world. In 2011, the Foreign Language Association of Virginia awarded